Chanel, if I can't have a baby and you can have a baby and you bring your baby into our relationship and you want me to call the baby daddy or you want the baby to call me daddy, then we got a problem.
Why is the voice? Why is your
I'm
voice
just
like that?
saying. I'm just saying because we got some people out there who be trying that. And we're going to get into that right after this. Let's go. Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Kevin, and this is my esteemed co host.
Chanel, welcome everyone.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. And Chanel, boy, do we have a topic today. I know my
Mm-hmm.
voice is sort of melancholy, but it's for a reason. And it's due to the fact that sometimes we get dealt some weird hands
Mm-hmm.
if you into playing cards. But one of the hands I need to make sure everybody else is playing out there is make sure you hit that subscribe, notify, and the other button down there so you know we put that
That's
fresh
a
content out there. Fresh content out there. I got it in at the beginning this time, Chanel.
there you go.
Yeah, Chanel, got a situation here that was in the portal, and it was related to a situation where a husband was asking if he's wrong for not wanting to adopt a child that his wife conceived during an affair.
Mm.
Now, right there alone is enough detail right there. People will say, nope, I'm not doing it, not doing it, not doing it. However, there are some things that are involved with this, and I think we want to let the viewers in on it. Shall I read it? Shall I? Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. The story starts off with this. It says, I am a 27-year-old man who used to have a wonderful relationship with the woman I love. And she's 26 years old. However, 5 years ago, she got drunk, had a one night stand, and got pregnant. Gosh darn it, pregnant from it. You know the word. She got pregnant.
Pregnant.
Pregnant. She about to have a baby from it, and it can't be his because he can't have kids due to a horseback riding accident that he had when he was a teen. He didn't get the guy's name who she had the affair with, and no, there was no way to find him, and so he's out of the picture. And his wife decided to have the baby anyway. Um, so that's the first part of the story. Chanel, now I'm going to ask you something here. That's a lot to ask of someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we all make mistakes, you know. And, he who is without sin cast the first stone. But that stone right there, that's a big stone right there to expect him to want to be the father of a child that he can't father. So,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think about that?
Whew. Kev. So this situation, the wife had a one night stand. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't have a relationship with the man. She didn't have that. That didn't happen. And so, the conversation I believe that probably needed to happen was, okay, you're saying that you forgive me for the one night stand. However, the result from that, um, is that something that we can live with? Is that
Mm-hmm.
something that I can live with? That's something you can live with?
Mm-hmm.
So I think he was very clear. I want to believe that he was very clear just based off of the message. He was very clear with her that I forgive you for for the one night stand, but what I don't feel like I have to accept is the consequence of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's your thing. That's your that's your consequence, not mine.
Is it? I mean, they're still married.
Well, I mean,
So,
he explained to her. He explained to her, and evidently she accepted that. However, I think in her mind she was going to change him over time. He's going to love the child, and he's going to do all these things. However, we cannot make people have our expectations.
mm-hmm. Understandable.
He,
Understandable.
if this man clearly said that this is what his boundaries are, his limitations are,
Mm-hmm.
right or wrong, he shared that. He didn't beat around the bush with that. He said that this is what my limitations are. She had a choice to make at that point. Whether or
Mm-hmm.
not that's something she wanted to accept in her marriage or not.
Or maybe she didn't believe in doing that type of stuff, and she wanted to have the baby because it's no fault of the child's. She made a mistake and ended up pregnant. You know the word. Don't laugh at me.
Mm-hmm.
But so she ended up pregnant, and
Mm-hmm.
we have to deal with the consequences of said action. However long it took to get her pregnant, I hope it was worth it, because now we have a life that is coming into this world, and somebody needs to take care of said life.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's in a position right now where he is being asked to be a father figure to the child, even though he is not said father. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot to ask of someone, because every day you got to look at this child, knowing it's not yours, and then you have to deal with that. And,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but sometimes people will feel some kind of way. We
Mm-hmm.
may have good days and we have some bad days. And, I'm not going to start. But
Go. I was gonna say, go ahead and sing it. Go ahead and sing, sir. Can you sing to us? Can you sing to
I've
us?
had some good days. But so that's a lot to ask, because every time you look at this child, you're gonna know it's not yours. And the reason I bring this up, because you think about it from this standpoint here, and we'll jump into a little bit more about what happened in the story. Think about the women out there, Chanel, who have to deal with a cheating spouse, or a spouse who had a baby, had a, what they call a break, what they call a breakup baby, or what they call a break baby, or something like that. I think that's what they call them when you're in the middle of a breakup and you're not together no more, and the person that your spouse and went with, y'all was separated at the time. Now he done messed around and got somebody else pregnant. Now y'all still technically legally married, you just separated, but now you got a baby in the middle of this.
Mm-hmm.
And so every time you see this child, oh, I didn't know y'all had a baby. We didn't. But she can't say that. She's got to smile.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Seen been there, seen it all.
So now you,
I've been the person. No, I've been the person to say I didn't. Oh.
well, that's some tea you just threw out there real quick. What the
No,
what?
I haven't. I've been the person to say that to somebody. Like,
Oh, okay. I thought you, the person, said that somebody came to you and said that, oh, that's your baby. You were like, yeah.
oh no no no
Oh,
no
okay.
no no
Whew,
no
whew,
no
touched my
no
heart. 'Cause
no
I was like, oh, we
no no.
got this story about to get a little deep right here. Like, tell me, Chanel. Oh, Chanel and went. Chanel lightning went off, y'all. She done sat here and then got dark. Boy, it done turned the lights off. I hope you paying your bill. Chanel ain't paying her bills, y'all. Um, so, so So we know those break babies, or those babies that people have out of wedlock or with someone else while they're still married,
Mm-hmm.
can cause some uncomfortable conversations and uncomfortable situations in the marriage. This couple right here, though, Chanel, it said that they almost went through a divorce, went through couples therapy, and they decided to try it again. They're still in therapy now, and have since, and they want to try harder at the relationship. And so she had the son. They talked about it, and he was just going to refer to himself as uncle. So the little boy would grow up and be calling him uncle, which is a weird situation, because he's uncle living with mama, and uncle is in there with mama. That's sort of weird. That's a weird dynamic there. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing changed when she started wanting him to call. She wanted him to adopt the child,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where the relationship changed,
Yeah.
because she just flipped the dynamic on it now. He didn't want the child. It's not his. But now she wants him to call the baby to call him, want him to allow the child to call him dad, because he's the only father figure that the child knows.
Right.
I mean, to an extent, you could understand that. But do you think
Can
she's
he?
overreaching?
Yes.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is this, Kev. They
Mm-hmm.
don't went to couples counseling, therapy, all this stuff, so that she can get somebody to say he's a bad person because he's not doing what I want him to do.
Mm-hmm.
No therapist or counselor worth their salt or pay is
Mm-hmm.
going to say that, because this man has rights and feelings
Mm-hmm.
that need to be respected as well.
Yeah.
He clearly told. So here's the thing. He told you what his limitations are, like I said earlier. Now, if she decided that she couldn't live with those limitations, the only other option is not to stay in the marriage. This man
Yeah.
is telling you. This man is telling you where he stands with this. So again, we don't have to like everything that people say. We don't have to like it. We don't have
Yes.
to like how they feel. But what we have to do for our own peace is to say, okay, that's how they feel. Let me move around. Let me make my suggestions or my adjustments so that I, I'm trying to I'm just trying to imagine this in my head, Kev.
Mm-hmm.
This woman for years evidently is in captivated with the thought that this man gonna change his mind.
Mm-hmm.
How many times do we counsel our clients and tell them that we can't change people? You can't change that person.
Yeah.
You don't
I
have that
mean,
kind of power.
yeah. I mean, this is a tough one because she loves him.
Mm-hmm.
She made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
We've all made mistakes, except that her mistake came with a
Mm-hmm.
cost.
Mm-hmm.
And to expect someone to just basically say, okay, I forgive you. And he probably, like I say, he forgave her and everything, went through counseling and everything. But as time goes on, she's trying to slowly nudge and say, okay, call him daddy, call him daddy, call him daddy. And the little boy doesn't know any better. And it's sad because the child is being brought into the middle of this. And the child had nothing to do with this at all. The child came as a result of someone's actions.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say this. As a man, there are things that we do that could scar a child for life.
Mm-hmm.
This child had nothing to do with what uh, the child came as a result, but the child had nothing to do with how she feels about him and how he feels about her. The one night stand happened years ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us, we can forgive, and we learn to work with, we get counseling, we learn to work inside of what happened so we can learn how to deal with these things.
Mm-hmm.
As I've read this more and more, I there's so many family secrets that are kept. This little man has no idea who's dad. He can't have a child, and nobody wants a ready-made family. A lot of people don't want ready-made families. But a lot of us move into situations where we have blended families, we got step kids and all that stuff, and we love these kids as our own. And yes,
Mm-hmm.
we know that's not his blood. But who's to say that the effect that he has on that, the impact that he makes on that child's life couldn't be a positive one to when this child grows up, something similar may happen. And he said, well, I had a father, my dad, who wasn't my real dad, took me and accepted me as his child. And that taught me how to accept other people for their situation. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I
Yeah.
look at the story a little different, because I understand he's upset with her. However, the child has nothing to do with this. And
And there,
I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
no, I was just gonna say, and there's a way to deal with that once and for
Yeah.
all. This man says, "I don't want. I am not the biological father. I don't want to be the
Yeah.
biological. Pretend that I'm the biological father." Okay. So again, it's not uncommon for children to live in a home where their biological father isn't there, but they do have a male presence in the home. Great. We just got done celebrating Father's Day. For those of you that are watching near the time of the show. And so many fathers that we celebrated were not just only parenting or being a father figure for just their biological children. I
Mm,
told every man that I saw on Sunday, Happy Father's Day, because even if they didn't have biological children,
mhm.
they are still someone's probably father figure. Okay. So I think that, okay, at the end of the day, this man is choosing to say, I don't want to pretend that I'm this biological father,
His
right?
choice. His
So
choice.
that's cool.
Yeah.
So call him whatever name. I wouldn't say you need to call him uncle because that's just weird.
That's
But
weird.
call him Jim. Call him
Yeah.
Jim. And and that's it. And he can continue to be a father figure in this child's life that, again, like you said, at the end of the day, he can have such a major impact. Who cares if he was a biological father or not at
Yeah.
this point?
So we always gonna bring this back home because the greatest story that got that's spoken of, that's never spoken of, the greatest blended family, step family in the Bible, the greatest stepfather was Joseph. Joseph didn't ask for this. All he knows that Mary came through and said that I'm pregnant and the baby belonged to God. No.
That's it.
So you think about this nowadays. This man, the father was not nowhere to be found. Don't have a
Mm-hmm.
name, but this child comes into this earth, comes into the world.
Mm-hmm.
This man can't have a baby. God may have blessed him with a child that wasn't his own, but he can take him in as his own so he can have a child. Yes, you can go out and
Yes.
adopt, but the child was already here. I mean,
That's
and
it.
he may have been going through a test. For all we
Mm-hmm.
know, he may have been getting
Yes.
tested.
Powerful.
And so what is it going to look like later on down the line when this young man grows up
Mm-hmm.
and he could be scarred by this type of action and it could have a
Yeah.
negative effect on him while this man's going about his business. He still can't have kids. So
Mm-hmm.
whoever he meets, he has to tell him that I can't have kids. So she'd already accepted him for who he was. He can't have kids.
Ooh.
She made a mistake. And we
Mm-hmm.
move on. But easy for
Mm-hmm.
us to say on the outside looking in. But you never know. You never know when you are being tested, when your
That's
character is
it.
being put on the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
Because the actions that he took on the back end of this, and I'm going to read it real quick so we can get out of here, was right here. It said that update after reading everything, he told his wife he was leaving and pursuing a divorce. He been thinking, or he said, I think I've been ready to do so for a while, but just needed the push. This has led to a complete meltdown, but I stayed firm, packed everything up, and moved in with his brother across town. And he's going to pay the rent for them for 2 months, and after that, she got to take care of it on her own. So, and he even said that if anything would have happened, he said that he don't want the child, but the child can go to her people, and he'll give him child support. So, there again, he's still making a stretch. He's dipping his toe in because if it's not your child, you don't have to pay child support. It wasn't your child in the first place. Why are you trying to make that commitment? It's
Mm-hmm.
already bad enough you leaving, and so
Mm-hmm.
everybody's gonna be looking at him like, you left. I mean, and how long? How many years ago was this? And so
Mm-hmm.
he who's out sin cast the first stone.
Mm-hmm.
All I say is right here. God bless him. Because that couldn't have been me. I understand, people make mistakes. I've made mistakes. And we'd have to learn to cope with it and we have to learn to move on. And
Yeah.
we because the love is love. And I got
Mm-hmm.
that from, I don't know where I got that from. Love is love. That means nothing.
It is. I guess it is. Love is
Love is
love.
love. Love is love. So I mean, he had. I can't ride with him on this, Chanel. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know his situation, the whole backstory, but I just know that couldn't have been me because I'd step up and take care of this child like his child was my own because the child doesn't know any better. That's just me.
Yeah.
And, so you can
Mm-hmm.
see it from both sides. So step up, people. Co-parents, step parents, blended family, the tribe. When somebody's in need and need help, if
Mm-hmm.
you can lend a helping hand please do, because the child is the one that's going to take the brunt of this. And so the child didn't ask for this. And our job is to make our child, these children's childhood as normal as possible. Bring them up in a loving environment. And this environment right here is real hostile. And that child's going to be having questions. And so, and we're not talking about the Maury Povich show, because this child will never know who his dad is. And that's somebody, but somebody, I think, the Lord's going to put somebody in her life, and somebody's going to step up to the plate, and this young man won't grow through life without having a father. I mean, that's just bad.
And that and again, Kev, I believe that's my prayer as well concerning this, because I think she was hopeful for something positive, and I think it could have been something positive had she changed her expectations. But again, that's her expectations, and perhaps he just wasn't the one to change them. But there may be somebody out there. There may be somebody out there that said, "Hey, you know what? Look, your kid, our kid.
Yeah.
And that's the best scenario.
He's going to put us through tests, and it's obvious he wasn't the person for it. And so there you go. So at least she found out now instead of finding out later in life when he'd abandoned them when this kid's a teenager. That would have been sort of weird. But So Chanel, another great week, another great topic. You be throwing them out there. But before we dismiss the congregation, I want to make sure I tell everybody to hit that like, subscribe, and notification button. And so we put this new fresh content out there. And Chanel, I'm going to tell these people to stay safe, be blessed. And what you got?
Put God first. Put God first, and manage your expectations. At the end of the day, manage those expectations, and make sure that you go with God. Go with what He's prompting you and telling you to do. Because guess what? Maybe on the other side of that is something way better and greater for you. That's right.
That's right, because the harvest is plentiful and the labors are few. And if you can't have no kid, you can't get none too. We out.